What I need from you is understanding. So simple as 1, 2, 3. Dun 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 dun. Understanding is what I need. Hey, what's up, y'all? I hope y'all are having a great day, great night. Whenever you're watching this, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell so you don't miss another one of my reviews. And let's go ahead and get into what is this? Still Kicking It, episode 2. Off to a bad start. Let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so y'all, I am finding out so much about this group that I'm really excited. I hope that they continue to bring back groups so that we can find out all the tea of what happened. Because how many of y'all knew that Kandi had an older brother? I had no idea Kandi had another brother. And I'm like, I've watched Real Housewives of Atlanta pretty much every season, and I don't remember her talking about her brother. And maybe she did, but I missed it. But the fact that she had an older brother who was really kind of being the gel, the glue that she needed to help stay in the group when she felt so alone, I was like, oh man, I could feel that because I'm really close with my brother. Like I definitely felt that. But anyways, so the real tea, okay, they have a little sit down. Tiny was like, hold on, wait, before we start practicing, we need to sit down and we need to talk, because this last time we met, you know, some things went down and I wasn't here for it, and we need to go ahead and get this off our chest so we can start fresh and keep practicing, because we got things to do. And I'm here for Tiny getting the group together, because she like, look, ain't gonna be none of this, I got things to do now. So they all sit down and it's like, so what's the real problem? And Kandi says, well, I just think that we need to get some things together before we can really just handle all of the business. And I was like, okay, Kandi, you can't, I mean, just don't start crying just yet. Like, don't make it a situation where you start crying just yet. And Tasha's like, well, what's wrong? Like, what is the problem? What is the real problem? And Kandi goes on to say, she's like, well, it all started when we was supposed to be recording our 3rd album and we couldn't record because you wanted to go solo. And she was like, no, that's not what happened. Tasha said, no, that's not what happened. That's not what happened. You're lying. And Kandi said, no, ma'am, I'm telling the truth. Your lawyer came to us and told us that we weren't going to be able to sign anything unless they gave you a solo deal. And as we sat there, everybody kind of looking like a deer with their head cut off, but Tiny spoke up and Tiny said, yeah, she's right. You know, I wish I could do a Tiny voice, but I don't have a Tiny voice to do. But if I could do a Tiny voice, I would insert it right here. But Tiny was like, well, basically that's what happened. You know, they were offering us, we were trying to get $4 million for the album, and they ended up only giving us $800,000 because of what you were trying to get done. You didn't want to do the you got to be able to go out and advertise and publicize and stuff like that. So that's what they were trying to get them to do. And without the cooperation of Tasha, they weren't going to be able to do that, and so they weren't going to be able to recoup their money. So at this point, it was the 1 against the 3. So I was like, oh wow, so they've been trying to make it all be about Kandi this whole time, but really Tasha been the one that's been holding back the tea, because it's been her. Okay, I was like, okay, Tasha, you really wanted this solo thing. And I'm like, okay, I understood, but even though she was the singer of the group, I guess you could say, I never saw her being able to really last on her alone unless she did gospel music. And y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but I just didn't feel like her voice was the best for her being able to go solo. I didn't think that she had that whole look, that whole vibe of being a solo artist. Y'all let me know what y'all think down below, because I didn't feel like that, but that doesn't mean I'm right. You know, I'm not Kandi and I don't know the business, but that's just my personal opinion. I didn't think she had what it took. But yeah, so that was interesting. And the second interesting fact was that at this time, when the 3rd album, they were trying to work on the 3rd album, Tasha's now husband, I think they were just dating at the time, Rocky was actually their manager. So of course everybody felt like Rocky was giving Tasha special treatment and all of this stuff and things that were going on, and it kind of made things a little bit more difficult. We find out that Kandi and Rocky used to be cool, but after the whole management thing started going down, they just no longer had that relationship, and Kandi felt like she was on the outside. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then the next thing, the other thing we found out, it was really 5 original members of Xscape. Okay, so really, Tan, who is Kandi's best friend, we've seen her on Real Housewives of Atlanta like once or twice before, I want to say. At least that's how long I've seen her. But she was on the show, and she was like, yeah, I've been, Kandi said, yeah, you know, we actually had 5 members of the group. Our manager at the time didn't want Tan. He didn't like Tan. And I was like, how do you not like a 14-year-old? Like, what about that 14-year-old don't you like? And you make them make an ultimatum between choosing between a friend and doing business. I mean, that had to been a difficult decision, and something I'm glad that Tan is out here surviving, but I know it's kind of a hard pill to swallow to see a group that you were in do so well, and you were actually a part of that group. Like, I just couldn't imagine. So yeah, we find out there was another member of Xscape as well. So after the group meeting, Tocha and Kandi have a sit down because the band had left. Like, they was like, all right, I'm finna sit through this. And they left. And so Tocha says, hey, Kandi, can I talk to you? And Kandi just breaks down. She's like, I just thought you never liked me. I told your sister that you didn't never care for me like that, and it really hurt me. I called my mom on the roads so many times talking about it. Now, I don't know if she was like really crying or this is just her voice, because I know her voice is like a crying voice, and so it's just all intertwined together. But anyway, she was really, 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 really deep into her feelings, and Tocha was sitting there like, I had no idea. And Tocha strikes me as one of them people that things just kind of go right over her head. She does what she wants to do, does it however she wants to do it, and when somebody else makes a difference of opinion, she kind of like, all right, cool, whatever. If you don't feel like that, oh well, because I'm gonna do it my way. That's kind of like the vibe that Tasha's giving me. And so I've had people in my life like that where they don't even realize that they are acting a certain way because that's just them. But that's not an excuse, but I'm just saying I've seen people like that. So she strikes me that she may have not known for real that she was giving off those vibes to Kandi. And Kandi seems like she might be a little bit sensitive, and I'm sensitive in that way where if I get a bad vibe one time, I'm like, okay, this person don't really fool with me like that, so I ain't really gonna fool with them. You know, I'm gonna keep it to myself and that type of thing. So I kind of felt them both on the situation. It could have been just a lack of communication and miscommunication that went on for just too long. But then we find out that that's the whole thing, that the rumor that started with about Jermaine Dupri and stuff was started by Tamika, and it was started because Kandi was apparently going on these different radio shows and talking about the situation, and so as retaliation, Tamika decided she was going to stick up for her sister, and that's why she started the rumor. So that was something else we found out. The rumor just didn't come out of nowhere. It came from a place of her wanting to protect her sister or trying to stand up for her sister or whatever, and it really didn't have to happen. So the one-on-one between Tocha and Kandi, they ended up hugging, they were embracing each other, and all seems to be okay, because we see later on that Tocha makes it to the studio with Kandi. She had never been to Kandi Coated studio before, and it was so funny when she walked in. She was like, oh, this is really nice. And here go Kandi. Oh, you never been here before? No, you just said you ain't talked to them in years. Of course she ain't came. She don't know nothing about nothing. Lord have mercy. I was like, Kandi, do better. You know this girl ain't been here before. So they're trying to piece together a kind of like a montage. Is that what's a montage? They're trying to make a mix of 4 songs for the BET Awards, because they did go ahead and accept it, and they have pretty much all the songs, and they're vibing and they're gelling, and they pretty much got everything that they're looking for and getting the mix ready for the BET Awards. And Kandi's mom does come, and she gets them together. She's like, let me hear what y'all got. And they go through the lineup of how Mama Joyce used to be, how she was real critical back in the day. I was like, is it just me, or when Mama Joyce talks, she talk like this, like she don't really move her mouth? Am I the only one that thinks that? Because I'll be like, what is she talking about? She don't really just, hey, let me see the music y'all doing. I was like, okay, can you open your mouth, lady? But that was that's pretty much the episode. Now the funniest part of this episode that had me dying, I ended up rewinding it back, because this is something that I would do. Like, if y'all know me, I will sing the words. Like, I probably sung the words at the beginning of this review all wrong anyway. I am terrible with words. Like, pretty much my director at church, she hasn't mouthed the words to me to make sure I say the right thing, because I don't want to throw other people off. So she'll make sure she mouthed the words to me. But I'm terrible with words. I would make up or something. Like, I would be on beat and you would think I'm really saying something, but I'm not, okay? And Tamika let us know, like, they were singing, who can I run to fill this empty place with laughter? Okay, so apparently all of these years, it's got to be over 20 years, Tamika been singing Face. And it wasn't until Kandi thought, she was like, am I singing, is somebody singing the wrong words? Is it me? Because I've been saying Space all this time. And Tiny's like, yeah, it's Space, fill this space. And Tamika was like, no, it's Face. I've been saying Face. Like, who's gonna fill this life of laughter with space? This face with laughter. I was like, oh my gosh, you mean to tell me that all this time you've been thinking the words, like nobody's ever corrected you? That's deep. That's real deep. But I was happy that she was okay with sharing that little bit of vulnerability, to letting them know that I didn't really know the words to my own song. That's deep. That's real deep. So anyways, that's the episode, you guys. That's the real stuff that happened. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. And as always, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any more of my videos. And I will catch you guys next week for another episode of Still Kicking It. KK, bye.